Hey. Hey guys, what's up? Eddie Aho here with KissAnalog.com. I'm here at the McIntosh MC30 Amplifier, Class AB. You know, I thought these were Class A, but somebody corrected me. It's Class AB. So anyway, it's a tube amplifier. I've got a bunch of tubes laying over here. I'm going to come show you these tubes, and we're going to test them. I'm going to show you my tube tester. It's a pretty nice tester, actually. So yeah, let's come over here and jump into this video. Okay. Oh, hey, after last couple videos, I've had some people hit that super thank you button down there. Man, it's kind of comes and goes. I'll go a long time, nobody hits it, and then boom, boom, boom. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it. I'm going to put their names right here. Okay. So let's give these guys a big thumbs up. All right. So, hey, and by the way, these tubes are US made. So I hope they all work, because that's going to be kind of cool that I can use some US made tubes. Okay. All right. Let's come test them. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the tubes nice and close, and then I'm going to show you my tube checker. Okay. All right, guys, here is an RCA electron tube made in the USA. That's the 5U4. It says GB USA on top. Okay. That's what that looks like. You can see inside the glass there, just kind of rotated around. There's what the pin's structure looks like. All right, and this is one of the 6L6s, okay, made in the USA, again. All right. And that's the other 6L6, also made in the USA. Now, I've had this amplifier for over 20 years. That was probably back before they started copying tubes. This is an RCA electric tube. Okay. Pretty cool looking, right? And up here at the top, it says, hard to see it a little bit, but I was trying to get it so you could read that. But it's a 12BH7A. Really hard to read that, right? Here's another one. Now, I can't remember what that symbol was. It kind of reminds me of something, but I can't think what it was. But this is a 12AX7. Okay. Or this is a 12AU7A. Okay. And this is the 12AX7. This is the other one right there. There's a part number. Kind of hard to see. Yeah, I probably wiped off some of the lettering, wiping down, cleaning off the tubes. But yeah, there they are. All right, guys, those tubes are kind of cool. They're US made. This is the Hickok, and has a nice little case. Now, guys, by the way, I had to go get this from the other side of my shop out. And when I came over here to the bench, I was cleaning it up. And as I was rotating the box around, one side had a gigantic, humongous. We get some big black widows. This guy was the big, well, the females are the big ones, right? Yeah, she was the biggest one I've seen, and I've seen some big ones. It was kind of gross. Yeah, I don't like spiders. Really don't like them. All right, I'm going to show this close up, and yeah, so I'm going to bring the camera over here. We're going to look up nice and close. And then I'm going to show you how we go through and test, okay? Okay, guys, this is it. Okay? Lots of connections. There's sockets for all kinds of different tubes, all right? And then some special little connections here. There's a bias thing here. Yeah, there's lots of connections. And look at this meter. That meter is a really nice meter. Okay, you'll laugh when I'm going to show you the data book on this. And what's funny, back in those days, back in the 60s, they actually showed prices. So if you had to go buy a knob or a button or something, you could order from them and you know what you're ordering, how much it cost. All right, guys, this is a little spin dial. And what I've done is I spun it up here to the rectifier tubes, okay, the 5U's, okay? And what we want is a 5U4, that one right there. And what it does is it tells you how to set up these knobs. The tube type selector, this is the selectors, there's all those letters here, okay? So that tells you how to go through and set up all these knobs, okay? So A, you know, B here, O, you know, so you set up all your different knobs, all right? And inside this guy, if I can open it, okay, the back of this, by the way, is the scroll paper here. And I don't know, do I need to wipe that off? Yeah, I might have to wipe that off. It's got some white dust on it. But anyway, inside here, there's the power cord for this light, okay? And there's a spare light down there. That's kind of funny. And then there's a connector here. So if you need to connect to one of these guys to connect to the top of the tube, I need to wipe that off too. And then there's a power cord that's pretty nice and clean. I mean, the stuff in here is pretty nice and clean. And guys, what's kind of interesting is this does have the 3 prongs. So that was kind of early on. I kind of wondered if somebody replaced that plug. And I kind of wonder if I did. I might have done some repair work on this way back long ago. I've had this for many years. All right, I'm going to wipe this up a little bit. All right, guys, so this is Hickok. And the front page is kind of in bad shape, but look at this. Leader in dependability since 1910. Holy cow. That's over 100 years ago. That is crazy. Over here on the left says Hickok 580A. Okay, instruction manual for tube tester model 5080A. Down here at the bottom, it's hard to see, but over here it says Cleveland, Ohio. Page 2. Look at that. That's pretty wild. 1965, guys. It's crazy. I'm just going to kind of peruse through this stuff, okay? General operation. Here's a road chart method. So you can do it. You can test tubes per section 2, or you can go to section 3, which we're going to kind of do that. And operation data handbook method. So they show you how you can learn enough about the machine so that you can just follow it, or use the machine to test it yourself. They talk about different types of tubes here, okay? Circuit description. So circuit description of the actual tester. We're going to show you that. It says simplified schematics and stuff, okay? So during this section, they show some simplified versions. But so down in here, maintenance calibration, they show some more schematics. So we're going to see some pretty cool stuff. Let's just start looking through this manual, okay? Okay, section 1, general information, changes they've made. Okay, so, all right, and then section 2, operation general, the positions of the switches for the plate and screen, voltages and stuff. So I'm just going to kind of peruse through this, guys, all right? Because we could spend a lot of time looking at this thing. The road chart method, I'm going to show you how I'm going to test using that. Here's a list of tubes and some parameters to look for. Section 4, the handbook method, okay? Talks about a bunch of details in this one, okay? Continuation, power rectifier test right here on the right side. Okay, here's a full wave rectifier. There's what a gas tube looks like, guys. Okay, now this is kind of an interesting chart. What was it called down here? Method of using power rectifier emission nomograph. Interesting, there's a lot of details in there. Circuit description, section 5. Now, look at this thing. It's a lot of stuff. Up here says life test. Down here is line adjust. I'm going to show you that one, okay? We're going to do the line adjust. So, voltage comes in, and you got these secondary voltages, okay? So a lot of taps there. I mean, there's a high voltage warning back there if you guys saw that. Now, live test, circuit description. Now, here's the simplified schematics that they're talking about. Here's the detector diode test. Down here's the power rectifier simplified version. You know, put a little voltage in and watch the current go around. And there's a load that you set, and then you should get a certain deflection there if you get the current traveling through there like you should. Okay, maintenance calibration. So it seems like I've gone through this before. So I think I've done this years before, but it's been sitting around for so long. So bias adjustments, here's a board. You can see the different calibration knobs. Okay, parts list. Look at this. It's really funny to see the prices over here. Switch assembly, 30 bucks. I like to see get that switch assembly for 30 bucks. Look at this, capacitors. Like a lot of these parts are under $1. Wow, there's a diode that's 3 bucks. Here's one that's $3.75. Wonder what those things cost today. And it's the same as, because the designation up there has the same part. But yeah, look at the knobs, transistors. Interesting, right? Now look at this, a switch, push button. It's 11 gang, 18 bucks. That must have been an expensive part back in the day. Look, I just wanted to show you this. The roller assembly was $6.20. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the schematic. There's the full schematic right there. Pretty wild, huh? I'll zoom in on this section. Pretty wild, huh? Just kind of showing the input section. I'll scroll over here so you can see. These are just sockets and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty wild. Pretty cool schematic. All right, guys, then I want to show you, give credit for these people. This is where I found this. So you can go here and you can download your own copy. Actually, maybe I'll just put the link down below in the notes. So just go look at the comments in the video, or I mean, just go down and look at the description of the video down below, and I'll put a link where you can download this, okay? All right, guys, so here's the setup. I've got this scrolled up to FU4, and the sections, it says HB00, okay? So we come up here, we go HB, okay, 0, 0, okay? So filament, filament, grid, grid, okay? And then it says FD00. So we come up here and we go, all right, we got FD00. All right. So then the filament says 5. So we come to filament, and right here there's a 5 or 50, okay? And then I set this up here to 5 right here, okay? And then bias is 0. So this is actually the bias, the 5 or 50. And then what I do is I just set this to 0 right there, okay? So that's set to 0. Plate is A, and screen is H. So here's plate, that's A. Screen, we're on to H. And then range is G. Okay, so I got range right here, set to G. And then the leakage test, this thing here, I think what you do is you start to turn it around, okay? And you look up here while you're doing this, and you see if there's any leakage current. And then finally you end up at tube test. And it says push S2. But over here in the notes, if we look over here, minimum MUT condition, okay? So MUT condition. And over here in the notes, it says set load to 20 read on, and then read on the 10,000 scale. So we come up here to load, we set this to 20, and then we're supposed to read on this 20,000. We're supposed to get 6,000 for minimum MUT, okay? So I'm going to push to S2. Let's watch that needle. Okay, I didn't see anything. Oh, yeah, that's funny. I've got a power cord deal. I got to plug the power cord. Now I'm going to use this nice IT7321 power supply for this. Okay. All right, guys, got the power cord in. I got it set for 120 volts. And then I'm just going to turn this on. So we're set. There's no power, no current yet. And that's because when I come over here, I've got this in the off position. So I rotate that up, and we should see this light turn on at some point. Oh, there it goes. Wow. Had to turn all the way on. Okay. Now, also, there's a light in here that went on. Okay. And now let me see. Where is it? All right. So, okay, it's down here, line test. I remember there's a line test button. Okay. I push that. And then up here, so it reads the volts right here. See, right between 100 and 120. I'm going to push that again. So if you see that, looks like it's, 100 over 110. Okay, so I think that's good. All right, now what I do is push S2. Simple as that. It's rectifier. See, it says rectifier. There's a diode one, but it's rectifier. So let's push this. All right, before I can push that, I'm all excited about setting up the machine. There's the 5U4. See, it says Made in USA up there. Okay, let's go ahead and plug that in one of these sockets. And I'm looking for the little dimple on the center round thing. So it's kind of facing me. So I want to face it down. And it looks like it could go in either one of these. But that one fell a little bit small. So this one doesn't fit. Yeah, I started rotating the wrong direction. Oh, that light went on brighter when I put that in there. Did it? Maybe it's my imagination. Camera's probably in the way, and then I moved it. So, all right. So now we're all set up. Now I think I can push this S2. Oh, wow. There we go. And look, it went over 6,000. That is awesome. That tube is really good. See, we're looking at this 10,000 scale right here. There's 6,000, and it's way over. All right, that's awesome. So that tube, I think I see it glowing a little bit. So that tube is a good tube. That's the rectifier tube. All right, guys, and that would go in the 5U4 thing here, socket. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my fingerprints off that. But anyway, I don't want the oils in my finger in there and the glass gets hot. So I'll just put it there for safekeeping. And since we got two of these guys, let's use this guy next, this 6L6. That's going to be exciting. All right, guys, I'm rotating this up, and I'm looking over here because we're in the 6s now. Trying to be careful. I'm not sure how, durable this thing is after all these years. Okay, we're 6Ds. It looks like I got to go a little ways. Oh, there's 6L6s. There's 6Ls. 6LB. Oh, there's 6L6 right there. Okay, so GBE0. So put that on G. Whoops, that is on B. E. And then 0. Okay, that's on 0. Then C, D, H, A. So C, D, H, A. Let's go back to here. 6.3 filament. It's just the next one up. 5 and 6.3. 12.5 bias. All right, so 10, 11, 12, 12 and a half. All right. And I guess I have to go over on this side to get the up to the 50 volt range. Okay. So that would be 10, 12, that'd be 50. Okay, so I've got that set. KKB. So plate is K. somebody's written voltage here. It says 200. K, K, and B is the range. So 10K range for that. S4, and then I push S4 and I look for 3200. Okay, let's get the tube up in there. Looks like the same socket. Okay, I'm going to push S4, and that's for GM lock. And I'm looking for 3200. All right, let's go ahead and try it. S4. Okay. Now there's 3000, and it kind of holds on there, 3000 to 4000. Okay. So these kind of lock in. It says lock and release. So I hit that and it releases. And it popped up here and took off. So if I do that again, it's above 3500. There's 4000. So let's go down here and I'll show you. You can watch that needle jump. And okay, there it goes. That'll look good. Now the other thing I can do is I can do this leakage thing. Actually, you kind of go through these knobs first, just checking that, just to make sure it's ready to test. I kind of was hoping it would be, and actually I just kind of forgot to do that. Okay, let's get the other one on there. I can see it glowing. Okay, I'm gonna just turn the voltage down so I can remove it. It's nice and hot already. Well, it's getting warm at least. Okay, let's turn the voltage back on. Okay, see it's starting to glow a little bit. We're going to do the leakage thing. Look for that meter to see if it moves. No, not really. I mean, it just barely moves. I think that means it's okay. So S4, push it. All right. It's settling. Whoop. Felt like it's my finger. I don't know. Maybe it's just bouncing around. Okay, let's sit there for a minute. Yeah, it's kind of moving around a little bit, but I think it's okay. So let's watch the needle. Boom. I'll do it one more time. Ready? Okay, it's coming down, but it stays above. I mean, it's supposed to stay above 3200, and it does. So I guess we're going to call it good. That's awesome. I got two good 6L6 tubes. Those are the push-pull. That's the Class AB tubes. Okay, let's turn it off so I can cool it off a little bit. Like I said, I'll wipe off my fingerprints, the oils. All right, so this looks like, all right, I had to look at that close. It's a 12BH7, and it doesn't have the center thing, just has an opening right here. So I'm going to look over right there. It looks like it'll fit. Okay, so there we go. Now that is a 12BH7. So I think that's going to be over on this side. You know what? Let me scroll up here and just make sure. Yeah. So I think that's over here on this side. Okay, I'm getting closer. Okay, BH. You know what? I'm going to have to go Google this and see if it falls under another. You know, I wonder if it's the same as a BA7. I'm going to have to go look at this, guys, because I can't find it here on the list. So I'm going to go check it out. All right, guys, that 12 BH7 seems to test a lot like a 12 AU7. So that's what I have set up here, okay? So that was a 12.6 for filament and about 8.5 for the bias, okay? So now I hit S4 and look for 1400. So let's try that. Wow, it went up and died. So maybe it's not testing well, or maybe the setup's not right. Doing the leakage thing, don't see any leakage. All right, guys, if you guys know what setup I should do for that tube, let me know, okay? So I actually have a 12 AU7 that goes here. See, the one I was testing is a 12 BH7, but I do have a 12 AU7 right here. So I'll try that and see if that works in this setup. Oh, you know what's funny? I forgot to turn it on. I was going to turn it off. Oh, okay. Now, whew. Yeah, now I see a light in here. Okay. Hey, how come one of you guys didn't point that out? Okay. Let's push it. Oh, it's still not doing anything. Okay, you know what? Let's do the leakage thing. Okay, I don't see really any movement. Try that again. As for, okay, so, hey guys, let me know how I should test that tube, because that guy is not testing well. Now let me try the real 12 AU7 and see if I have the setup right. Okay, got it in there. Let's turn on the voltage. Give it just a moment to warm up a little bit. Okay, hit S4. That's not doing anything either. I feel like I'm not doing something right. I'm going to check the setup, just make sure. Otherwise, I might have two bad tubes. All right, operator error. I didn't have it set up right. I got one knob off, so should always double check that. So I got them all set this time. Think everything's good. It's warming up. Sitting over there warming up. I'm going to push S4, and we're looking for 1400. It says it's a dual triode. Okay, and we're looking for 1400. Wow, okay. So it's pretty darn close. 11, 12, 13. Yeah, it's right about 1400. It's so close. All right. Turn that off. Pops over. I might let these warm up a little bit and then retest. Maybe I need to go read that book and see if you're supposed to let it warm up for a few minutes. Okay, guys, I put the 12 BH7 back in place of the 12 AU7. It's a little taller than the AU7, otherwise they're very similar. And let's turn on the power supply. Now I probably should let it warm up for at least a minute or so, I guess. But I've got it all set. What do you think? It's starting to glow. I'm going to just try it. I think I'm doing this for the video. Oh, look, it went up to 2000. So, guys, let me know if that's the way you test the 12BH7, okay? And it's an A version, so let me know. Okay, guys, now we have two 12AX7s, same socket, okay? And the first knobs, this set of knobs were in the same position. The thing that changed was the bias voltage. I had to flip her to 5 because it goes to 2. Still 12.6 on the filament. And the range went to A range. And other than that, it was the same. Now what we're going to do is push S4 like we have been, but we're looking for only 1000 this time. Okay, now I'm going to go do this leakage thing. Because, you know, if you saw it peg out like it's leaking, like, you know, then you may as well not go any further. But, okay, so hit S4. Whoa. It went all the way up. Oh, you know what? There I go again. Jeez. Let's turn it on. All right. I keep turning it off when I switch out tubes just to be safe. So, all right. So here we go. Let's push S4. It's barely warming up. And it's well over the 1000. So, yeah, we're super good there. Okay. Yeah, I might do this again. Let them all heat up for a minute or so. So they're nice, starting to get warm. And then test again. All right, so I put the tubes back in. Okay, so got all the tubes back in. That's rectifier, part of the power supply. And 12AX7s are on the outside, 12BH7, 12U7, and the 6L6s are right here. Guys, I might just bring this over and power it up and test it nice and slow because I have that nice AC power source. So yeah, I just might do that just to see, you know, if it actually powers up and plays music. And then we'll look to see what else we want to do. All right, guys, so what do you think? Now, for some of you that have never seen tubes being tested, that might have been interesting. Some of you guys have seen it 30, 40 years ago. Might have been brought back some memories, but I remember going into here in Utah, Grand Central. It was a big store, and they would have a tube tester. I was just a little kid. I think I was in 5th or 6th grade, and I secretly pulled the tubes out of the back of my grandma's TV when it failed again, because whenever it did, she'd have the tube guy come over. He'd come pull them out, put them in his tester, and I knew about the one at Grand Central, so I put them in a bag. That was back in the days when you could walk around when you're a little kid, walk around your neighborhood. I had about a half-mile walk to the store, stepped up on the steps, put the tubes in, tested them, came back and asked my grandma if we could, instead of calling the repairman, if we could fix it, if I could tell her what tubes were wrong. And she said, "Oh, we need to bring a repairman. That might be beyond where we are." And I said, "Well," so I told her what I did. She was pretty proud of that. Told that story for years. Anyway, guys, I took this tube tester. Last time I used it, I think, is when I had this little shop. And I got a call from an elderly guy who I don't think he could drive. So I had to go to his place. And I tested his tubes on site. And I found 1 or 2 that were bad. I went back and replaced them later. And I told him that since it was under, $20, he didn't have to worry about it. He was a nice guy, had a nice little system, and I was just happy to go over there and help him out. But that was the last time I used this bad boy, so kind of brought back that memory. All right, guys, thanks for watching. 2 big thumbs up my patrons, 2 big thumbs up my YouTube members, and Danny for being a team member, and also for hitting that super thank you button. Danny, thank you. And the rest of you guys that have hit that super thank you button. I kind of listed you in the front of this video, right? All right, guys, I think I'm going to power up this amp nice and easy and just see if it's playing music, see if it's working. So that'll be kind of a neat test, and then I'll consider what other parts. Let me know what parts you guys think I should replace, if I should replace some more capacitors. There's those really old type of oil, I forget what they're called, some kind of a oil paper capacitor, and then the ones in that silver can. I think you can buy replacements for those actually, so that might be worth doing. Maybe I'll see if I can measure them. That might be a good thing for the next video before I power it up. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.